So I got off the plane. The very next day, I called my boss at Blockbuster Video. And for those kids that are a little younger, it was a real life Netflix, basically. So I called the manager up and said, hey, I'm quitting. G'day, YouTube. So a little while ago, we did a segment called Ask Belmo, where I go to social media, post, if you've got some questions for me. I take questions from Facebook, Instagram, and I guess it's called X now. And I answer some of the questions. So we'll get into the Facebook questions first. The very first question is from Ben Gass, and he says, do you think there will be a day where everyone does two-handed and there being rarely a one-handed bowler? That is a really interesting question, and it's also a question that I get asked a lot. What do I see the future of bowling being and the style? It's really hard to know. If you had have asked me a few years ago, I would say that two-handed bowling is definitely growing, but it's going to take quite a long time to see a large percentage of the population bowling two-handed. But in the last 5 years, the spike of two-handed players has just exploded. And now there's estimates of the younger generation of upwards to 40% of under 25-year-olds bowling two-handed, which is crazy to me. So taking that information and seeing the trajectory of the style and its popularity, I don't know if we'll ever see everyone do it, but I think we're going to see a majority bowling that way sooner than I realized, which is kind of cool to see. I mean, 20 years ago, I felt like it was just me. So it's nice to have a few friends out there bowling the same way. The next question is from Sam Vang. He says, I find myself needing a game or two to really get zoned in and warmed up in order to start bowling my best. How do you get yourself ready to bowl and warmed up? It's a really good question because it's something that I see quite a lot. Sometimes even on tour, that you walk in, you go to your pair of lanes, you're sitting down and you're waiting, and then the announcement is, oh, it's time to have your practice session, and then it's time to start competition. And to me, the warm-up or the practice session may be the first time I get a chance to throw a ball down the lane, but that is not the first chance of me warming up and getting prepared. So for me, when I walk into the bowling center, the moment I walk into the bowling center, I start preparing my mental game that you're getting ready to start bowling. Make sure you've got all your equipment sorted. Make sure you have some type of lane strategy or at least equipment strategy to go to so you feel prepared. You can always change that, and that can always move on the fly, but you've got to go in there with something in mind. And then the other thing is you've got to get your body moving. So it's very rare for me to just come into a bowling center and stay still. I'm usually walking up and down the bowling center. I do a lot of stretching before I get to the lanes, before the lanes even turn on for practice. And I make sure that my body's a little warmer, my headspace is in a really clear and specific mind set. I know what I want to do. And then when the 10 minutes of practice warms up, I definitely don't feel like I'm cold. I'm a little bit warmer. The other thing you can do is start off with the front five. That is a really easy way to get comfortable, get in the zone, is just, have the first 5 strikes every game you ever bowl. Easy. David Leclerc asks, so spiders. That Huntsman guy that you have over there would freak me out. If you find one in the kitchen, do you open all the doors and windows and just run? Or do you pick it up and put it in your garden? Yes, the Huntsman is it's a big spider, but it's not a scary spider. It doesn't have any venom that can do any damage to you. So it just looks super hairy, it looks super scary, and it jumps. So that's the other part, is it can be quite, you do get a little bit of a fright when you get near it because it can sometimes jump away from you, jump on you. But if you know that it's a Huntsman and you realize, it's probably just playing with you, you tend to not kill them. I don't kill them anyway. Huntsmen are really good too for killing a lot of other things in your house and around your house. They can even kill birds. So yeah, I tend to leave them wherever they are. They're quite relaxed. Spiders just don't go near them and they won't jump on you. The next question comes from Lily Anna, and she asks, someone told me that you would not be competing on the PBA Tour in 2024. Please say it isn't so. Well, Lily, I'm here to tell you, it isn't so. I will be bowling on the PBA Tour in 2024. So if you happen to be in one of the cities that we are competing in, please come and say hi. Let me meet you, take a photo with you, and if you've got something for me to sign, we'd be more than happy to do it. All right, and the final question from Facebook, it's from Buddha Christo, and he asks, how do you maintain your mental strength during games and tournaments, and any tips for young players? The mental game is a really tricky one to answer because I feel like we are all wired a little bit differently. My natural persona is very relaxed, it's very calm, and so when I get onto the lanes, the way that I prepare myself mentally in that inner fight and that grit is probably a little different to say someone like Anthony Simonson, who is a little bit more aggressive, he's a little bit more anger built up, and he needs to release that for him to get comfortable. For me, I never get there. So I would probably find out what type of individual you are and how you, I guess, approach life generally. From there, I would work out if you're losing that mental toughness or that you're getting distracted heavily, have some cues, some triggers of yours that can get you back into it. So if you're noticing that you're not mentally sharp and you're not mentally focused, maybe it is as simple as a breathing technique, maybe it's reading something that you've written to kind of redirect your focus. And sometimes it can be as simple as just closing your eyes, pausing, just resetting your mind a little bit. And so, again, it's really difficult to have like a one-stop shop answer for that because we're all so different. Okay, over to X now, and we have at Mr. Kevola asks, how easy is it to travel back to Australia with trophies that you've won? Do you put them in your hand luggage or do you get them specially shipped, delivered? Depending on how big they are. The PBA have been just incredibly generous with the ability to send the bigger trophies home for me so I don't have to carry them. I did used to, especially through my amateur career, and I found it quite uncomfortable, to be honest, because you'd have this big ass trophy in your hand, everyone would be asking you, hey, what's it all about? And I kind of felt a little bit weird saying, oh, I won this bowling tournament, like let me show you the trophy. So since I don't have to travel with them so much and they do get shipped, it makes my life a little easier for the travel. And that was the other thing. I would put it down, like have dinner. It comes everywhere with you when you're traveling. So you put it on a table, it just looks weird, like you're showing it off. I don't know, I felt very uncomfortable. But now I don't have to worry about that. I get everything shipped back home, and it's kind of cool because I get to kind of unbox it and open it up with my family around, and we can kind of all, I don't know, reminisce from when I did win it and kind of relive that moment together with my family back home. At ant_bat asks, what age did you realize you can bowl for a living? I was 16 and a little bit years old. I traveled to Malaysia for a youth tournament. I bowled a perfect game, which ended up earning me about 15,000 US dollars. And that was more money to a 16-year-old kid that I ever thought I was going to ever have. And so as soon as I got on the plane, I started to think, that was a lot of money. Like, why can't I just do this? Why can't I just travel to Asia or Europe or wherever and bowl these tournaments and make money that way? So I got off the plane. The very next day, I called my boss at Blockbuster Video. And for those kids that are a little younger, it was a real life Netflix, basically. So I called the manager up and said, hey, I'm quitting. And then I got fired by my dad at the bowling center because I was traveling too much. And so between not having a real world job and this thought of, I want to do this for a living anyway, that was the moment I said, all right, I guess I have to, because I don't have a job anymore. G'day, thanks for watching. If you loved this one, check out the rest of the videos from this playlist or any other playlist. Make sure that you like the video and please subscribe if you would love to be the first to catch any of the latest of the behind the scenes and a whole lot of other cool stuff.